Hello. Hey, y'all. What's going on? Hey, Auntie. Hold on, y'all. I was just eating me some little lunch, y'all, so I'm a little late. Not much. Just eat me a little beef patty. How's everyone doing? Hit the like button as you come in. I appreciate you. Auntie, how are you, my love? Hi, Ray Ray. Hi, Buttercup. How y'all doing today on this Thursday? I'm so glad it's Thursday. This week went so fast, and it was good for me. Drink me some cold water. Yes, how's everyone doing today? I am so glad today, Thursday. Tomorrow is my off day, but y'all know I'm gonna come with a video tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned for the video. But being live, no, I will not be live tomorrow, and I may drop a video Saturday too. But Ray Ray, how are you doing today? So we're gonna jump into it, y'all. We're gonna go back to some old videos from this little narcissist that we talk about, okay? So let's go back to some videos from him. Because actually, y'all, I see a lot of content creators still talking about this case. Like literally, they're still talking about this case, you know. And I think a lot of content creators still talk about it too, because this little girl never was found. You know what I'm saying? She never was found, before this man took his life. So is it a possibility she may be found? I don't know. I mean, I remember that the cops did take him somewhere that he told them that she was at, but she was not there. So I see why a lot of content creators is still like, they're talking about the case. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Okay, Nicole. Okay. Maybe your work may go a little bit fast today. So we're going to get into this video here. Hold on, y'all. Let me bring it up. And if y'all hear noise, that's my fan, y'all, because I'm hot. Shit.
Naziah Harris was just 13 years old when she vanished without a trace from Detroit, Michigan on January the 9th, 2024. According to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, the next day on January the 10th, 2024, her grandmother and legal guardian, Annette Harris, reported her missing to Detroit Public Schools. Sadly, Naziah nor her body has been found. So this video has resurfaced on the internet, and many people are saying that it appears to be Jarvis Butts in the video. Take a look at the video and tell me if you...
Now, y'all, in this video, y'all look good now. If y'all want me to play it back, I will also play it back. My opinion, when I watched it last night, because this is the first time me seeing this one, right? This does look like him in this video with this girl. But I want y'all opinion, and y'all tell me what y'all see in the video. Hold on, y'all. Let me refresh my phone for a second here. Okay. So y'all let me know. The guy's going to be walking behind the girl. I think it's going to be walking behind the girl. He's going to come behind the girl. But watch it and let me know, did y'all think that this was him in this video with this girl?
you think this is Jarvis. Now, of course, it's not really a clear shot, but you can see the male as he comes into the video frame, and
Did y'all see that?
kind of leaves the video frame.
And
Now,
he
of
left
course,
real
Neziah
quickly.
would post many TikToks on her page, and some of her pages have come down. So people are apparently, sharing videos. It's not just from one account. Sometimes, videos just pop up. So in this video, does it appear to be Jarvis Butts? Now, the song that she is dancing to is Cardi B WAP, and it became a TikTok trend. So at the point that Neziah is dancing to this video, people are saying, well, that's disturbing because of the song lyrics. But tell me, do you guys believe this is Jarvis Butts in the video? I'm going to play this part of Jarvis Butts' interrogation, and I have enhanced it, so you should be able to hear it. At this point, investigators have already talked to Jarvis Butts about Neziah Harris. Now, keep in mind that Neziah Harris went missing on January the 9th, 2024. This is the same date that Jarvis Butts was due to turn himself in on an unrelated weapons charge, okay? So that charge, if he would have turned himself in, he would have had to stay from January the 9th until December. Prosecutors say the motive to Jarvis unaliving Neziah Harris was that he did not want her to give birth to any child, especially his child, considering the fact that Neziah Harris was 13 years old at the time she disappeared. She would have turned 14 in September. Jarvis Butts, of course, in 2024, he was 41 years old. So prosecutors say that was the motive. He was already a convicted offender. And at this point, she was texting him. She was sending him text messages saying she cannot do this gym stuff. So Jarvis Butts, according to prosecutors, felt that he was back in a corner. So he was supposed to turn himself in on January the 9th, 2024. He got that date adjourned to February the 7th. So between this allowed Jarvis to buy himself enough time to take care of this legal issue as he
that Jarvis Butts told any detective or any officer that he testified to, but in highlighting those, he denies to Detective Mays that he was with Neziah at all or had talked to Neziah at all on the 9th, denies ever picking her up, denies to, even when confronted with the January 9th messages, he said that it wasn't him initially. Obviously, we heard in the subsequent interviews, specifically on June 1st with the OIC, he came off of that. He told Shannon Harris that Neziah texted him on the 9th. She says that he never did that. And we have some of their messages in the record as well. He denies going to a hotel and denies going to a hotel with Neziah Harris and denies having any sort of sexual relationship with Neziah, even though the text now messages completely prove that that is an absolute lie. We also have his motive. We know from Sergeant Jones that he was going to be going into custody supposedly on January 9th until roughly December, I believe, is what Sergeant Jones testified to. We know that that date was adjourned because he said in his interview that he had a legal issue. He said it was out in Clinton Township, but I submit to this court that that's not the legal issue he was talking about. He was talking about the legal issue he would have had if Neziah had been left alive. He had to make sure that when he was in custody that she was not going to give birth to any child of his. That's his motive in this case. That's why that's January 9th. Sentencing date was adjourned to February 7th so he could take care of that potential legal issue. He was being told consistently by Neziah throughout the months that she might be pregnant, and then on 11/27, she says to him that it's hard to do this gym shit with this baby.
No questions I wouldn't have answers to, so I'm just trying to understand something. So this right here is a brief synopsis of Zaza's interactions with you and your phone number that you had since 2019. And so right here on the day that I'm concerned with it, this is right here.
Don't forget, be there. What? Yeah, that was when she sent it. I was supposed to pick them up that day, but I never responded.
You did.
What I do?
So then the next one, she responded.
And if you send a message,
I can delete your number.
no, I don't. Like I said, they send me.
Hold on. Look, before you explain it, just look at the times. They back to back.
Oh yeah.
And we in school. She in school. And then right here, she tells you to respond, okay. That's you. That's received.
I did receive.
So you said, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
So, those, like I said, those are the numbers they were sending me.
And pausing at 1 hour, 48 minutes and 7 seconds. I'm gonna go backwards. 1 hour, 13 minutes and 49 seconds.
So, okay, so yeah, that's what we saw. Okay. All right. So your original date was in what was your original date? Yeah.
November the 20th, the day before my birthday of last year.
That's when it happened?
Oh no, when that case happened?
No. When did you supposed to get sentenced? Because we got 2 dates. We got a January.
So what happened was I was supposed to get sentenced last year, the day before my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We went to court, whatever the case may be. They adjourned it to January the 9th.
That's the day we got.
Right. So I had a legal issue pending. And I asked to get it extended before I could take care of my legal issue in conjunction.
Mm-hmm.
That was January the 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, then they scheduled it for February the 7th.
Hey, ladies coming in.
And I'm pausing at 1 minute, or 1 hour, 44 minutes and 44 seconds. One hour, 15 minutes and 52 seconds.
All right, so what's your relationship with on the day to day? Like, are y'all have any interactions? Just y'all y'all got a niece uncle relationship?
Yeah, we kind of like niece uncle, and I also get her and my daughter from time to time.
Your daughter who?
Janiyah.
How you spell it?
J-A apostrophe N-I-Y-A-H.
Janiyah.
But
Go ahead. How old is she?
she's 10.
Black female, 16. Okay.
No, she's 10.
Oh, I thought you said you so soft spoken, brother. Okay. 10. Okay. Go ahead.
So I get those from time to time. I do cleanups.
Okay.
A lot of times, sometimes I used to use them. And when I worked at my old job, Frank's, I used to have them come and clean up my office and my bathroom and stuff. Like, probably like twice a month, give or take.
Okay. And where's Frank's at?
That's on East 1 and
Did you pay him?
And pausing at 1 hour, 17 minutes and 3 seconds.
Hey, everyone coming in. Happy Thursday, ladies. Love you, ladies.
And starting at 1 hour, 22 minutes and 1 second.
What's your password to the phone?
That's a facial.
It's a facial recognition.
Yeah, it's a facial.
So if you weren't able to use your face, you have a pen. What's that number?
04
04
1925.
1925. Okay. So, all right. So, if I need to know the last time you talked with her, okay, brother? All right. So, would you be willing to give me consent to do that? Real quick? Thank you. What type of phone you got? iPhone? What? Okay.
Yeah, I can't mess with iPhone. She looked at me like, what kind of?
Jerk.
JRPIS.
I'm sorry, man.
We have a Javaris we work with.
Yeah, I work with a
So
Jabbar.
we keep trying to spell it his name.
All right, so iPhone. What color is it?
Glass.
Okay, it's glass. You said it's 11. Then your phone number 313-585-8719. Password is 041925. And
When the last time you used that phone?
Right before I got locked.
Hey, Brittany.
Matter
Hey,
of fact, in the
Terry.
morning before I turned my surf.
Okay, did you cut the phone off or is it still on?
I turned it off. It's still on as far as company wide.
Company wise, right? Okay. Where did you leave the phone?
It was actually with one of my girlfriends, man, because she bought.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait, hold on, back up. Back up. Let me You don't understand. I can't understand.
Yeah.
Hold on, I heard you say baby mama, 13 kids, fiance. You
Hey.
live with who do you live with?
My
That's the fiance. And we got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, player. One of the 5 heartbeats?
No, man.
Okay.
I actually used it before
He got more than 2 girlfriends.
Okay.
Like,
So she has your phone? She had your phone.
from my understanding, at least half my phone.
Now, who did they get it from?
Her.
We asked because we don't know this
so,
info.
From my understanding, they conducted a raid on her house.
Okay.
Why are they raiding her house?
I don't know. That's the same thing.
But she had the phone.
and this is what she was talking about, y'all. Remember when the baby mom came on a phone call and she was like, why you didn't tell me that you left that phone in my car? This is what she was talking about. He lied. She never knew that phone was in her car. He lied and said he gave it to her, and he never gave her that.
But the phone was in her possession.
Okay.
So,
And that's where you left it, when you got locked
And
up.
my jacket in the car.
Okay.
what type of car?
Suburban.
What color?
Tan.
Okay, I'm gonna go check.
Is that your car or her car?
Hers.
Oh, okay.
And then pausing at 1 hour, 24 minutes and 50 seconds. Playing at 1 hour, 32 minutes and 16 seconds.
Due to the snacks, whatever the case may be. And I know she was getting older, so she was into certain things. Like I come up, she had little fake nails and shit on.
Mm-hmm.
And I know grandma wasn't.
So why just not give it to them?
Earn it.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So the value is the mentor thing.
Yeah,
Then.
so earn it.
So you mentor. Would you talk to them about anything? Or?
Depending on, certain little things, I would ask them how school would be. Nothing serious. Like I say, I wouldn't fight too much in family business. That would be my thing. But like I said, everything that you had to do, you had to earn it.
He lying. He was getting that girl nails done and everything. Okay, so he is straight lying.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if you wanted something, earn it.
Mm-hmm.
You appreciate it more. So that was my whole thing on that. So me, I used to just give it to them. They would take advantage. Every time I pull up, You gotta do that. It's lit. And it's a lot of kids over there, so I can't keep giving
Yeah, not
everybody $5. And that looks real bad if I just give you money every time you have asked for it and or she asked for it and I can't.
And that's exactly what he was doing. Giving her money, doing things for her to keep her mouth shut. So stop lying. Okay? You're lying again.
Give it to everybody else. So therefore, you guys want something, I got a job for y'all. If I have something for you to do, I'll call and let you know. Every time they come in with $25 a piece, depending on.
Okay. So, all right. So, I'm gonna ask you about this area real quick.
Is it Anina Ross in my chat? Because I always see Terry speaking to her, but I can't see her. Can someone let me know? Is it Anina Ross in the chat? If anybody can let me know, because I can't see her. Rebecca, what's going on? I ain't seen you in a while. How you doing, my love? Can someone let me know? Because I know I don't have her blocked. Because I can't see her. I always see Terry speaking to her every time she come in the chat, but I never see her. Oh, okay. Because I'm like, what the hell? Every time Terry come in the chat, I see that name, but I never could see the person. Okay, because I thought maybe I had her blocked or something. I would go on my block list to find out what was going on. Okay, got you.
Let's see that. Confirm that photo. Make sure we're talking about.
Doing good, Rebecca. I'm glad you're doing good too, sweetie.
Sir?
That's Zaza. What's her government name?
Messiah.
Zaza.
Do you know about when that picture might have been taken or where?
Okay, after hearing this part of the interrogation, what are you guys' thoughts? Obviously, Shannon Harris already testified in the preliminary hearing that in order for Neziah to go up to Jarvis Butt's shop, she had to ask Annette Harris, who was her grandmother, legal guardian, if Neziah could go. So they were allowing it. Shannon Harris already admitted at this point that they were aware of Jarvis Butt's past. And if that's not enough, keep in mind at the point that they're allowing Neziah Harris to go up to Jarvis Butt's shop, Neziah had already complained about Jarvis Butt inappropriately touching her, which there's a video on my page where I went through that. Okay. So at this point, Neziah Harris has complained about Jarvis Butt touching her. We know CPS said that they failed to talk with Neziah Harris because although her name was in the report, she wasn't listed as the victim. So please, if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out.
And she is so right. She right. Like they knew that she was going there. And they knew that Neziah was telling them the things that he was doing to her. Okay. But they still allow her to go there. So what kind of family members was y'all at the end of the day? Like really? What kind of family members was y'all? Y'all didn't stop it. Stop her from going. Y'all didn't question him. Y'all didn't take her to a doctor. Y'all felt that girl also. Y'all felt that girl, especially the grandmother, because the grandmother, the one had full custody of her. She felt her own granddaughter. Shame on her.
Out. The video is on my page. So at this point, they already know all of this and they've allowed Neziah to go up to his shop. What are you guys' thoughts about that? Now I'm going to play this portion here from the forensic scientist that testified at the preliminary hearing. The significance here is that I see comments that they're like, well, he said he checked himself into the hotel. Why didn't they go to the hotel and do DNA testing? They did do the DNA testing on the mattress. There was a stain on the mattress, and they're going to talk about that here. Okay. She also received Neziah Harris earbuds. the mattress covering and the fabric mattress pad covering and plastic mattress piece. Although this has been discussed, what hasn't been shown here on my page is the report. So if you're a visual person and if you like to follow it alone, you can follow alone. Now, what is interesting is because she talks about the shower drain, and this is from the Park Crust Hotel that Jarvis Butts checked himself into, right? And there's speculation that he was at this hotel, that Naziah was there. So DNA, where is the site, where is the scene, of where he may have potentially unalived Naziah Harris? People were saying, go to the hotel. They're going to explain that they tested the mattress cover, the stain. So what are you guys' thoughts about this?
In this case, I received the buccal swab, and for a reference sample or a buccal swab or blood, known DNA from an individual, everyone has one or two what we call types at each of the locations within the DNA. So when I see one or two at one of these locations, I know that's only one person. If I'm seeing 3 or 4, 2 people in that sample. So for a reference sample, blood or buccal swab from the infected someone's cheek, there would only be one individual present, because that's directly from that individual.
Okay. And what you do in your process doesn't change or alter the DNA in any way, does it?
No, everyone has their own unique DNA profile. It is specific only to that person unless they have an identical twin. Every cell in your body has the same DNA profile that is unique to that individual.
So in record number 4, you came up with some interpretation. What does that mean?
So when I look at the kind of the picture of that DNA profile, I'll interpret how many people are there and then make comparisons to any known samples and the evidence.
Okay. So in interpretation number 1, you obtained a profile from the Jarvis Butts buccal swab.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and that was sufficient for comparison purposes.
Correct.
What does it mean to be sufficient for comparison purposes?
So DNA must be above a certain threshold for evidence or references. And in this case, that DNA profile was all above that threshold, and it can then be compared to evidence.
Okay. And the interpretation number 2, you obtained a DNA profile from ID card swabs that was insufficient for comparison purposes.
Correct. The amount of DNA there was just too low and did not make it above that threshold, so I couldn't do anything with it or compare it to anything.
Okay. So you can say there's DNA there, but you can't compare it to anything.
Correct.
Okay. And that was the entire substance of record number 4. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. In record number 5, what evidence did you analyze in record number 5?
I received earbuds that were submitted as a possible alternate known. Fabric mattress
Exactly.
cover cutting.
Very sad. She never got justice.
Plastic mattress cover piece.
And these are earbuds, alternate known. What does it mean? What does alternate known mean?
When there isn't a known sample from an individual, occasionally they can bring in, an agency could bring in an alternate known. Usually this would be a toothbrush or something that you knew belonged to them, a comb or something along those lines. And then we could use that as an alternate known for that individual as their known sample.
Okay, so as opposed to there's a straight buccal swab from them or a hair strand from them.
It's generally buccal swabs or blood samples are used as references for known samples.
And in this case, do you know what alternate known you received?
We have the alternate reference known possibly for the victim in the case.
What an alternate known, could that also be like a blood card from the birth?
Yes, there are blood spot cards taken at birth that can be obtained from hospitals to be used as known samples.
Okay, so it'd be a known sample.
Correct.
Okay. And your results in this case, your interpretations, you stated there was a DNA profile obtained from the earbud swabs that was not sufficient for comparison purposes. Is that the same thing that you were saying for in record number 4?
Correct, yes, it wasn't enough DNA there to make any determinations.
And interpretation number 2 is for the fabric mattress pad cover stain. Why did you assume that it originated from one individual at United Texas Family?
So when I looked at that DNA profile from that mattress pad cover, there was only 1 or 2 types each location, which tells me that's only one person in the sample. I could tell they were male because there was a Y. If it's female, it'll only be an X present at the locations that determine sex. So I determined that it was one individual and they were male.
Okay. And you determined that based on Jarvis Buck's known buckle, he was excluded from the mattress pad cover stain?
Correct, he was excluded from that.
And in interpretation number 3, there's the plastic mattress cover piece swabs. You assumed that there was DNA profiles from 4 individuals, which at least one was male.
Correct.
Explain that.
So once again, I looked at each of those locations, and like I said, there's 1 or 2 at each spot. I can also see how they line up with each other. Your DNA will be about the same height at each location, those 2 types. So if one is much bigger, that would also tell me that it's 2 people. So in this case, it indicated that there was 4 individuals in this sample, and that at least one of them was male.
Okay. And then you made actually a hypothesis and results as it relates to the plastic mattress cover piece swab. First, go through what's the hypothesis?
So then I use a mixture interpretation software called StarMix. And what the software does is it breaks that mixture down into its individual components, and it determines which profiles would best fit in that mixture. And using frequencies from the population, I can compare known samples, and it will give me a likelihood ratio, which is how many times more likely that that individual contributed or did not contribute to that mixture than a random individual in the population.
Okay. So in this case, you compared this to a known sample from Jarvis Butts and 3 unknown unrelated.
I only compared him. The hypothesis is that it would be Jarvis Butts and 3 unrelated unknown contributors, or hypothesis 2, or
Yeah, I
idea
wonder
2
would they
is that it's 4 unknown unrelated.
would they ever
individuals.
find
So it
her?
compares those 2 ideas and then provides that likelihood ratio.
And you determined it was very strong support that Jarvis Butts was not a contributor to the plastic mattress cover piece swab.
Correct. 750 billion times more likely that it originated from those 4.
Yeah, wonder would they ever find her remains? And I would love to know, what did he do with her? What did he do with her? That always been like, I mean, I don't understand it. I always kept that in the back of my mind. What did he do with that baby? That's so sad. That she couldn't even have a barrier, you know? Because she was never found for her family to do that. That's sad.
Unknown, unrelated individuals than Jarvis Butts.
Hey, Brittany.
Moving on to record number 6. What evidence did you analyze here?
I received shower drain swabs.
And just for clarification purposes, back in record number 5 and in record number 6, these mattress cover pads, plastic mattress pads, shower drain swabs, do you have any idea where these are coming from?
No, they were just given to me in a tube from a previous analyst.
Okay. All right, so you said you did shower drain swabs. What was your hypothesis of this?
So I determined that there was once again, 4 individuals in that sample, with at least one of them being a male.
Wow.
And so your hypotheses were essentially the same thing as the,
It was 3.6 octillion times more likely if it originated from Neziah Harris than if it was from an unrelated unknown contributor. And this provides very strong support that Neziah Harris is the contributor to that black hoodie stain swab. And then I compare Jarvis Butts as well, and he's excluded from his single source samples.
and would that be because you found that it was only from one individual genetic type as female?
Correct, yeah, when comparing him, he's excluded.
When you say octillion, not a math person, how many zeros is that?
That is 27 zeros.
Hey, Auntie.
Okay. And interpretation number 4, we have this black hoodie swab in that's 5CD. And you had two analyses here. One with Jarvis and one with Neziah. What did you find as it relates to the comparison with Jarvis?
So the black hoodie swabs, and generally these are taken to see who may have possibly worn it or skin cells opposed to stain swabs. So I determined that this was from 3 individuals. There were 3 individuals in that sample, and at least one of them genetically typed as male. And when comparing it to Jarvis Butts, it was approximately 2.1 million times more likely if it originated from Jarvis Butts and 2 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides very strong support that Jarvis Butts is a contributor to the black hoodie swabs.
And what about the comparison to Neziah?
When comparing Neziah Harris, it was 97 sextillion times more likely if it originated from Neziah Harris and 2 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from 3 unknown unrelated contributors. And this also is very strong support that Neziah Harris is a contributor to the black hoodie swabs.
And how many zeros after sextillion?
Sextillion is 21. And just for reference, anything over 1 million is considered very strong support.
And next interpretation is to the pink bodysuit skin swabs. And you performed this assuming there was 2 individuals. What was your comparison as it relates to Jarvis Butts?
Comparing to Jarvis Butts, it was 6.3 times more likely if it originated from Jarvis Butts and 1 unrelated unknown contributor than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides limited support that Jarvis Butts is a contributor to the pink bodysuit stain swabs.
Yes, Brittany.
And as it relates to Neziah Harris?
It is approximately 60 septillion times more likely if it originates from Neziah Harris and 1 unrelated unknown contributor than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown contributors. And this provides very strong support that Neziah Harris is a contributor to the pink bodysuit stain.
How many zeros in septillion?
Septillion is 24.
Then interpreted the pink bodysuit regular swabs of it. You determined that there was 2 individuals, at least one was typed as male.
Correct.
Tell me your comparison with Jarvis Butts.
It was 24 trillion times more likely if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from Jarvis Butts and 2 and 1 unrelated unknown contributor. And this provides very strong support that Jarvis Butts is not a contributor to the pink bodysuit swabs.
And you had said previously, just the swabs of items, you said they're more related to like a wearer ID type thing?
Generally, if it's possible stain, blood stain, semen stain, it'll have the word stain when it's just swabs of Generally, it is just swabs looking for who was possibly wearing that item, but I did not take the swab, so that person would be able to tell exactly.
And for the comparison with the Harris, what did you find there?
It's 150 sextillion times more likely if it originated from the Harris and one unrelated unknown contributor than if it was originated from two unrelated unknown contributors, which is very strong support that Nadia Harris is a contributor to the pink bodies and swabs.
I think we said previously that was 21 zeros.
Sextillion, yes.
And what were your findings as it relates to interpretation number 7 of the fabric mattress pad stain cover?
So in the earlier report, we did not have a known sample from Ms. Ivy Harris. So I went back and compared her to those previously submitted evidence samples, one of which was the fabric mattress pad cover stain, which she was excluded as a contributor to that stain. Also to the plastic mattress cover piece swabs, which you'll remember that was 4 individuals. When comparing her, it was 430 million times more likely if it originated from 4 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated with
Right, Brittany, I agree.
and 3 unrelated unknown contributors.
Yes.
And this is very strong support
They did not
that
protect
Ms.
that
Harris
baby.
is not a contributor to that plastic mattress cover piece swabs. The final was the shower drain swabs. That was also 4 individuals. And that was 13,000 times more likely if it originated from 4 unrelated unknown contributors than if it originated from Ms. Harris and 3 contributors. And that was strong support that Ms. Harris is not a contributor to those shower drain swabs.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, this is the end of that one. Let me bring up another one. I agree with you, Brittany. They did not protect that baby at all. Like, literally, like, that's so sad. It's heartbreaking that she didn't have no protection at all. They knew what was going on. You know, they kept dealing with the man, didn't protect the baby. Like, and I blame it on the grandmother, really, okay? I really blame it on the grandmother first and foremost, because the grandmother is the one that had custody of her. Okay? Hold on, y'all. Okay. And she should have known where this baby was at. She should have known where this baby was at. Okay? Why was she's not in the house? School hours? Like, what was really going on?
Jarvis Butts appeared in court, and it was published on August the 4th of 2025. Now, many have been wondering if Jarvis Butts will take a plea deal for any of the charges that he is facing, but it looks like his defense team is ready to fight these charges. Now, earlier this year, back in January of 2025, Jarvis Butts had a major preliminary hearing. In that single hearing, prosecutors presented multiple charges involving multiple victims. Now, some of those charges were tied to SA allegations, and others were connected to the case of 13-year-old Nadia Harris, who vanished without a trace from Detroit, Michigan on January the 9th of 2024. If you're not familiar with her case background, I'll link the full breakdown in the description, and you can check out my coverage on her case. Now, the court found in his preliminary hearing in January of 2025 that there was enough evidence for all of the cases presented in that hearing to move forward to trial. Now, at this point, it appears the prosecution intends to try all the charges together in one trial rather than presenting each case separately. So while Neziah Harris may be the name that brought the national attention to Jarvis Butts, she is not the only alleged victims. But she is the only victim in this case that Jarvis Butts is accused of murdering. Now, all of the cases are now expected to be heard together when the trial begins on October the 6th of 2025. The judge has already stated that jury selection will take place first, and once jury is seated, then the trial is expected to begin immediately. But why exactly was Jarvis Butts in court in August? Well, as we know, at the preliminary hearing, the judge initially ruled that there was sufficient evidence for the case to move forward. So back in January of 2025, Jarvis Butts had a different judge. That judge ruled that based on all the charges that he was facing, all of those charges can move forward, and it was appropriate for a jury to then decide on if he was guilty or not guilty. But now Jarvis Butts' defense team has filed a motion to dismiss some of the SA charges. They did not file a motion for anything related to Neziah Harris' case.
So wait, y'all, whatever happened to the other child that he did this to? Do anyone know whatever happened to the other child?
But they filed a motion related to the SA charges. His defense team is arguing that there is not sufficient evidence that was laid out at the preliminary hearing, and that the judge abused her discretion by allowing the case to move forward before a jury. So both sides today, well, when they recently appeared, they both got to argue. Jarvis Butts' defense team and the prosecution team both got to argue their points before a judge. Once they laid out both of their arguments, which you will hear, the judge then decides to look at the transcripts, read some of the testimony from the victim out loud to the court, and then he issues a ruling. So listen to this.
25 on behalf of Mr. Jarvis Butts.
Good morning, Your Honor. Lauren Butler, P88126, also Neighborhood Defender Service on behalf of Mr. Butts.
Thank you. Mr. Butts is also joining us in court. Mr. Butts, your name, please.
Jarvis Butts.
All right, thank you. You can all have a seat. All right, attorneys, thank you for your patience this morning. We did have a relatively short
wouldn't even want to represent his
conversation
ass
about these cases this morning. And just to briefly summarize defense, you intend to raise an issue with regard to some outstanding discovery on the case ending in 218, which has the homicide charge. Is that accurate?
That's correct, Judge.
All right. It's also my understanding that there are two motions to quash filed today. And the parties, the people submitted a written response to those motions to quash. I've had an opportunity to review them. Parties are ready to argue those motions today, correct?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. All right, well, let's start with the file that Mr. Butts is here to be arraigned on, that being the file ending in 4478. How does he wish to proceed for arraignment purposes?
Yeah. Mr. Butts would waive the formal reading of the information. He stands mute. We ask the court to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Thank you. A plea of not guilty will be entered on his behalf. Counsel, was the examination held in that matter?
It was.
All right, we're going to get that transcript ordered. And with that, do you want to move right into the respective motions to quash, or did you want to address the discovery issue?
I think we can go ahead and do the motions, and then we can discuss the discovery at the end.
Okay, very good. All right, who's going to take the lead from the defense?
Your Honor.
Very good, your motion.
Your Honor, thank you. So, Your Honor, I did file a motion to quash relating to case ending in 6232. For the sake of privacy, I won't mention the complaining witness's name, but Your Honor, there was a preliminary examination held in this matter. There was one witness called. The complaining witness was the only witness called. She testified that at the time of the incident, she was 4 years old. At the time of the hearing, she was 13. So there had been a substantial passage of time. Your Honor, her testimony was she was home with Mr. Butts and Mr. Butts' girlfriend. At some point, the girlfriend left the bedroom. Mr. Butts was in the bedroom. She was on the couch. Mr. Butts summoned her to the bedroom, at which point she was ordered to take off her clothes. her testimony was she took off all her clothes except her underwear.
Wow.
She took off her clothes, then Mr. Butts touched her. I believe the order of touching her was he touched the top of her thigh, then he touched under her breast. And then she said he touched her where she peed.
Wow.
Okay.
This man was a straight
sole testimony of this witness. At the end of the proofs, the prosecution moved to bind over on an original count of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree and added a count of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree because of the statement of because of the statement of complaining witness. Your Honor, we believe that is an abuse of discretion. The only thing that we have on the record is she said she touched where she uses the restroom. And the only clarification we had was she said this is where she pees from, or she urinates from, excuse me, those were her words. From that, we had prosecution postulating that meant that there was some penetration, except there was no penetration mentioned. There was no penetration discussed. We know from case law, for a CSC 1 to happen, there has to be some form of penetration, even the slightest. Case law also tells us if she testified that he were to force her underwear inside of her, that would be sufficient for penetration. Yeah, we don't have any of that. We never have conversation, or we never have any testimony about her panties being pulled aside. We never had any testimony on direct that she remembered the events, and she said she remembered the events. None of that was testified. I think to say that there was sufficient evidence on the record that says that there was a penetration for the purpose of the CS1 is an abuse of discretion, and we believe that should be dismissed.
Thank you. And counsel, your respective motions, they're similar in nature in that you're arguing the issue of whether or not there's sufficient evidence on the issue of penetration on both your motions across, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you want to, why don't we have them argued as on the second matter, and then we'll hear one response from the people if you're okay with that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so this is then with regard to the case ending in 24101, and sorry. Okay, and this is Lauren Butler, P88126 again.
Thank you.
So first, to overview the facts from that case, I want to emphasize that this is only with regard to one of the two instances described. The complainant described two instances, but only one of them has been charged as first degree. And I am only arguing regard to that and that particular charge. So at the preliminary exam for that instance that was described, the testimony included wearing panties. So again, that is similar. She never described those being removed. She did not describe any instances of penetration and only described light touching while wearing panties. The prosecution had the burden at the exam of establishing evidence of every element, and that included penetration. And again, the case law is clear on this. In particular, the case I cited in my motion, People v. McNeese, while that is unpublished, it is particularly relevant because it highlights this distinction where it needs to be more than just, it uses very similar language to that used in the exam here with this emphasis on touching the vagina, rubbing the vagina. That's not enough for penetration. And there was even a specified testimony about under the underwear and over. And yet, even with that fact, the court still held that this was not penetration. And that's similar to what we have here, this description of some degree of touching in that area, but that alone is not penetration. It also relies on published case law, People v. Payne. Rubbing one hand, where it concludes that rubbing one hand over another vaginal area does not qualify.
And then we'll hear one response from the people if you're okay with that.
That's fine.
Okay.
But he still rubbed her leg. That's if she was a child.
24101. And sorry. Okay, and this is Lauren Butler, P88126 again.
Thank you.
So first, to overview the facts from that case, I want to emphasize that this is only with regard to one of the two instances described. The complainant described two instances, but only one of them has been charged as first degree. And I am only arguing regard to that and that particular charge. So at the preliminary exam for that instance that was described, the testimony included wearing panties. So again, that is similar. She never described those being removed. She did not describe any instances of penetration and only described light touching while wearing panties. The prosecution had the burden at the exam of establishing evidence of every element, and that included penetration. And again, the case law is clear on this. In particular, the case I cited in my motion, People v. McNeese, while that is unpublished, it is particularly relevant because it highlights this distinction where it needs to be more than just, it uses very similar language to that used in the exam here with this emphasis on touching the vagina, rubbing the vagina. That's not enough for penetration. And there was even a specified testimony about under the underwear and over. And yet, even with that fact, the court still held that this was not penetration. And that's similar to what we have here, this description of some degree of touching in that area, but that alone is not penetration. It also relies on published case law, People v. Payne. Rubbing one hand, where it concludes that rubbing one hand over another vaginal area does not qualify as penetration. And I'd also like to address the response from the prosecution to this motion, because the argument they're making was not reflected in the preliminary exam testimony. Specifically, there was no testimony about inside the vagina. So while they're now arguing that that is possible, it's not the testimony we heard. We didn't hear this contrasting of the labia and the vagina. And this diagram that is now referenced in the motion was not used in the exam. So in conclusion, the prosecution did not meet the probable cause standard for first-degree criminal sexual conduct because there was no evidence of penetration and bind over was not proper, specifically as to that charge.
Thank you. All right, who's going to take the lead from the people?
That's me, Judge.
All right, very good.
So I'll start with the first argument made by Mr. Riggins, the complaining witness there, referenced by initials PB. She testified specifically that he touched my private part where I use the bathroom with. When asked what comes out, she stated urine. I then asked, tell me about what part of him touches you there. She states his hand. And what does he do? What does his hand do when he touches you there? She states he rubs my private part with his hands. I then clarified, is this on the
Y'all, this man is sick. This is a sick man, okay? He should have been in jail before this even happened to Desire. He should have been in jail. Why didn't they lock him up on these first charges with this little girl? Like, what in the world? Did they fail this little girl too? Where is this little girl? Where's the family? Did the family ever speak out?
The top part of that, and she interjected, said the bottom. And I said, would that be where the P comes out? She says, I clarified, is that a yes? So in summary, she testifies she's rubbing the bottom part of her private part where the P comes out. Your Honor, in a motion to quash the highest deference to the reviewing magistrate in this case, it requires an abuse of discretion, which is
no, he absolutely did, Brittany.
The district court.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with
I
Riverside.
agree with that. He took
First,
the easy
go
way
to
out.
Riverside
Yes,
and open
absolutely.
an account. When you're ready to record, just hit rec.
Penetration requires any sort of intrusion, however slight. And we use the term genital opening rather than vagina, so that penetration of that labia majora is sufficient to establish.
But I want to know why this first child they're talking about, why this child didn't get no justice for this. I mean, because he was still in the. Did he go to prison? What did he get? Did he get probation? Did he beat the case? What did he get found guilty of? Because he had to get found guilty of something if he was a registry, you know? See, I didn't know about the first case of a first child until this case came out. So I'm just wondering, like, did he get jail time for this? What happened with that case?
penetration or criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. Here,
No, Brittany, I don't know.
the
'Cause I never knew
witness
about this
testified that
little
the
girl
defendant
until
rubbed
this
her on
case
the bottom
came out.
part where the pee comes out. When we think about basic anatomy, we know that pee or urine for women comes through the urethral opening. There's a lot of, biological anatomy down there, but we know that the urethral opening is an internal structure that's beyond both the labia majora and the labia minora. So when this complaining witness testifies that he rubbed her bottom part where the pee comes out, she's referring to an internal structure, thereby penetration. The examining magistrate also found that, and said in her ruling, that for a woman to urinate, it's not on the outside of her labia. That's an internal. That would be beyond that. And so she found that it was a question of fact. I don't believe that there's any abuse of discretion by that. And I believe that there's satisfactory testimony, at least to a probable cause standard, for that count. And do you want me to go on to the next one?
Please.
Okay. In the second case, extremely similar. This one is specifically, this complaining witness starts off by saying, how somebody would play with you in your sleep, like you would feel them in your ear, like this or something. We don't have what she was demonstrating, but she's playing with her ear. He was doing that to my vagina when I woke up, and I was crying.
Wow.
I stated, all right, when you wake up to feeling something? She said, yes. I asked, where do you feel something at? She says, at my vagina. And I said, what do you feel at your vagina? Should I feel like somebody's playing with me? Like, I don't know, like somebody's trying to touch you but not wake you up while he's touching you. And I said, what part of him is touching it? I'm touching you. She said, he's using his hands. She later confronted the defendant about it. He's asked her why I was acting so weird towards him. She said, you don't remember what you did to me? The defendant looked me dead in the face and said, I don't remember doing that, but if I did do it, then I'm sorry.
Wow.
Again, the reviewing standard is abuse of discretion. And here, similarly, she testified that she felt the defendant at her vagina, that she felt the defendant playing with her, using his hands at her vagina.
Lord,
it's more than just
Jesus.
mere contact, mere brushing against a vagina, or just merely touching on top of it. It's an intentional act at her vagina. By stating she felt the defendant's hand at her vagina, she's testifying to penetration. She did not state that she felt his hand on or over her vagina, but rather at her vagina. Again, we look at basic anatomy, Judge. The vaginal opening is beyond beyond or inside both the labia majora and the labia minora. And so because sexual penetration is defined as the labia majora and beyond, the vaginal opening is beyond both the labia majora and minora. And so by stating that she felt the defendant's hands at her vagina playing with her, she testified to penetration. And I believe that there is satisfactory testimony on the record to satisfy that to the probable cause standard, which is, again, probable cause standard is the lowest standard and abuse of discretion is the highest deference to the examining magistrate. And I believe that they both create questions of fact.
Thank you. Did the defense wish to respond?
Your Honor, in all seriousness, we're giving far more biology of the human anatomy than would ever put on the record at the preliminary examination. All we had at the preliminary examination they were touched at the area. We have young ladies who, although at the time this happened, may have been too young to describe the actual part. At the time of the preliminary examination, surely they could have said, he touched me on the inside. He forced my panties aside. He touched me on the inside. And in either case, was that testimony ascertained, that testimony was given, that question was asked by either people. So here, all we have is hyperbole. This is what the complaining witnesses must have meant when they said that. Yeah, and I think that is a far reach, and I think surely that is an abuse of discretion to just simply say they must have meant there was internal penetration. That is an element the prosecution has to prove in each and every case when they charge a CST in the first degree. In neither case was that proven, was that ascertained. We just have speculation, and to put those charges in front of a jury would simply be wrong, Your Honor. So we're asking to grant both motions to quash.
Thank you. Judicial response?
Judge, I would just reiterate what he is already saying. I think in my case in particular, there's this emphasis on the word at. There's just it's not realistic to say that that's what at means. This comparison between at and over is really not what plain meaning tells us about the word at. At is very different from inside, all of what Mr. Organs really just emphasized. So again, I would object that this should be dismissed today.
All right, thank you. All right, well, on a motion to quash, and there's two motions to quash that have been filed by defense. The court has to review the record for an abuse of discretion, which has already been pointed out. The abuse of discretion standard is a high burden. And defense here, through their written and oral arguments today, have challenged the sufficiency of the evidence presented on the bind over of the respective counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree regarding the issue of penetration. So the court has had an opportunity to listen to the respective arguments from the attorneys here today. I've also had an opportunity to review the lower court record and namely the transcripts. And of course, the prosecution at the preliminary examination has the burden to show competent evidence that probable cause exists on each of the elements of the charged offenses. So here, looking at pertinent portions of the transcript, and I'll start with the case where PB is the alleged complainant. There's a few pertinent portions of that examination transcript, starting on page 58. And it notes line 20, or answer to a question, he touched my private part where I used the bathroom with. Question, okay, and when you use the bathroom, what comes out? Answer, urine. Question, urine, okay, tell me about what part of him touches you there. Answer, his hand. Question on the following page, okay, what does his hand do when he touches you there? Answer, he rubs my private part with his hands. Question, okay, was this, so when he's rubbing your private part with his hands, is this on the top part? Answer, the bottom. Question, the bottom part, okay? Answer, yes. Question, okay, and is that would be where the pee comes out? Answer, yes. With regard to the file where the alleged complainant is AD, and directing the attorney's attention to the pertinent portion of the testimony on this issue of penetration, page 83, line 14, this would be multiple paragraphs into her respective answer, reading, and you know how you like how somebody would play with you in your sleep, like you would feel them. And I think the pertinent part of this answer that's relevant to this determination is the next three words. And again, it's like you would feel them, quote, in your ear, like this or something. He was doing that to my vagina when I woke up and I was crying. Moving to the next page, page 84. Question, okay, where were you sleeping? Answer, I was sleeping in the bed with him. Question, you were sleeping in the bed with your dad? Answer, yes. Moving to page 85, line 8, question, all right, and when you wake up, you kind of wake up to feeling something. Answer, yes. And where do you feel something at? Answer, my vagina. Question, what is it that you feel at your vagina? Answer, I feel like somebody playing with me. Like, I don't know, like somebody like trying to touch you, but trying not to wake you up while I'm touching you. Question, okay, do you know what part of him he is using to touch you? Answer, he's using his hands. So sexual penetration is defined, and that's defined under 75052-0AR, sexual intercourse, cunnilingus, fellatio, anal intercourse, or any other intrusion, however slight, of any part of a person's body or of any object into the genital or anal openings of another person's body, but emission of semen is not required. And here, based upon my review of the lower court's record and testimony utilized in making the bind-over decision, I think based upon the testimony that I just read in the record verbatim, the examining judge did not use her discretion in binding over on respective counts of criminal sexual conduct in the first degree. I think that there was sufficient evidence presented on each of the elements, and specifically the elements of penetration in both files, to uphold the bind over, and attorneys are going to respectfully deny the motion to quash. All right. So attorneys, we have a couple of other issues to discuss. In defense, would you like to get into the discovery issue that was noted earlier?
I understand that. So one of the largest pieces of evidence is the CSLI that was used at the preliminary examination, which the prosecutor posits puts Mr. Butts at the scene of where certain pieces of evidence were located.
And so we're clear, counsel, you are moving into the file ending 218, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Apologize, thank you.
That's okay.
Back on February the 6th, Mr. Riggins reached out to the people and alerted them that our expert to review what we needed was the Celebrate UFED, basically the underlying data that is pulled, not the report that is generated from Celebrate.
What was the date that was put on notice?
February 6th.
February 6th. Okay, so just about 6 months ago.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we received a response back on the 14th from people saying that they would work on it and get back to us. We received another response on the 28th that they were looking for the files, essentially discussing that it's a huge amount of data that has to be transferred. And then we followed up, it was sometime later. And the next response I have is from May 28th, that there would be follow-up with the right person at DPD. They would get back to us. So we've been in communication with the people about this for this entire time. There's no surprise that we've been asking for it. And the response has generally been either that the DPD has it and they're working on transferring it, or that it's taking a really long time to do because the data is so great. They have to basically go through they would take it from a hard drive onto another thing that can be transferred, put it on ours, and then they can send it to us. And as of this morning, we still don't have it. We are less than 2 months out now from trial, and given this is a huge amount of data, we have to have our expert look at it. We are very concerned that we don't have it yet.
Understood. So we do have trial set in that file. I've got it set for October 6th, so we're just north of 2 months by my math. So Mr. Makepeace, did you wish to respond from the people's perspective? Why has this taken so long when it was put on your notice 6 months ago?
Yes, Judge. No, and I'm not disputing the dates or the emails that Ms. Quick referenced and the responses. There was a period of time where we had because it is an unusual request for the underlying file. They do, for the record, are in receipt of the cell phone forensic extraction reports that are generated, which are the files that are usually turned over. Those are UFDR files. This is the underlying file that comes with that or is generated and then put into a report. They have requested that on the dates and times. There was a period of time where I had to communicate with the OIC as well as the cell phone expert at DPD to figure out exactly what they were asking for. That did take some time, and then there was a period of time where I requested from the defense a hard drive that they provided to us for these to be uploaded onto. That hard drive, and I don't have the exact date in front of me, was turned over by Mr. Riggins to me. I transported that hard drive to the Detroit Police Department and provided that to the officer in charge of the case, as well as with the understanding that she and the cell phone expert would get together and get this uploaded. That's where I think the biggest delay comes from, is that there was a little bit of a miscommunication to them, between them, on our side of it, which is that one said it was done, one said that the other person did it, and nobody actually ended up doing it. When I went back to pick it up, it wasn't done. At that time, I brought the hard drive back to DPD and said, this needs to be done as quickly as possible. That was within the last month or so. The actual process for them to upload these or get the files onto the hard drive is to take it from a Blu-ray disc or a DVD onto a computer and then onto the hard drive itself. That does take some time, given that there are, I think, 15 or so phone dumps that they've requested these files for, and the amount of information is large. As of this morning, I spoke with the cell phone expert who is in the process of doing this. He states that it will be done middle of this week, Wednesday. And at which point I will myself go to DPD, gather the hard drive, and provide it directly to Mr. Riggins or Ms. Clegg or Ms. Butler.
Okay, so you believe you will have it to them by the 6th?
Yes.
Okay, which is exactly 2 months out from our trial date. All right, why don't we schedule an additional pre-trial date for all files? You bring it into hash out any.
Shit, Brittany, I'm trying to find out what happened to the first case with the first girl. Did he go to jail for that? Did he get any time? What happened? Because I did not know about this first girl until this case. That's when I started hearing about it. You know, so I want to know what happened with that first case. Did that little girl get justice? Did he go to jail? Did he get probation? What? I mean, I felt like he shouldn't even been on the streets. And we know these little perks, you know, they go to jail for a little while, they come home, and, you know, once a perk, always a perk. You know, I got to say that. I can't say the whole word. Once a perk, always a perk. They never go back. Okay? Now, I don't know how long it took for the grandmother to find out what he did to the first girl, because the grandmother knew. Okay? She knew, but she lied and she claimed that he never came in the house. He would always stay outside in the car. He would let the kids go outside in the car to see them. He didn't really come in the house. But then that was a lie. When the trial came, that was a lie. She blatantly lied. He was coming in the house. I don't understand why the grandmother didn't do more investing. Why would you even let your granddaughter keep going to a car lot or whatever with a grown man, for one? And you didn't, she's not a boy. What was she going up there for? She couldn't work on cars. Okay, people even stated that they would see her sitting out inside of his car. People even stated they would see her walking to the shop. You mean to tell me the grandmother didn't know nothing? I would never buy that. I feel like the grandmother wanted all those kids just for that money, because she was getting money from the state for those kids. The whole family. And let me ask y'all a question, if you know. Where is the other kids at now? Do she still have the other grandkids? Like, this is just so sad, y'all. Hey, Queen, this makes me so mad. Yes. I just need to know what happened with the first case. What happened? Oof. Ain't no way, y'all, that my daughters, I ain't even got to worry about it, because my daughters will never allow her daughters to go to a goddamn shop with a man every day. Okay, not even with their own goddamn father. Because my daughter is strict, all of them. Okay, my daughter got a set time for bed for her children, meals, homework, all of that. My daughter got her kids on the schedule when it comes to everything, due to their schooling, due to her job. You know what I'm saying? And their own father wouldn't even allow them to be at a damn shop around men anyway while he's working. Okay? Their fathers is very strict when it comes to their daughters. Like, I just don't understand none of this. I don't. I just don't understand. Like, it was. I know it was a lot of red flags there. I know it, and the family knows it too. They know it. Maybe you can research to find out. Yes, okay, Brittany. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Going on because that hotel is known for trafficking. Oh, really, Rebecca? I mean, Ray Ray? Ooh, Lord Jesus.
Potential trial issues and things of that nature. Also noting the people did file a notice of other acts. Which files which files did you file on that?
Judge, I filed that on all of the cases except for the newest one, because that one wasn't
Brittany, do me a favor. If you can find the first child, first and last name, inbox it to me and I can research it like that.
system yet.
Or if you find out anything, just send it to me in my inbox.
So yes, there should have been 4 filed as of last week.
Okay.
And we do intend to file an objection.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Very good. So why don't we schedule a date to hear that? Are you anticipating filing a notice on the case Mr. Fox was arraigned on today?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Brittany.
All right. Defense, how much time do you want to respond?
2 weeks.
Okay.
I apologize. Mr. Reagans is out of the office for one of those next 2 weeks. So if we get 3.
I'm going to come back on Friday, September 5th.
Judge, I'm I'm off that day. Back the next Monday though.
Is this something, Ms. Ripley, that you would be able to?
And y'all, I know the court's got to do their job, right? When they're defending somebody, you know what I'm saying? That's their job as an attorney and everything like that, you know? But I just can't stand to sit here and even watch this attorney defending this motherfucking, ooh, Lord, knowing that this happened to that first child. Like, that's just insane. But I understand, you know, that's their job, but
to handle Mr. McPeace's absence? If not, I can find another date.
It is, Judge, but I'm going to be in a 2-defendant homicide trial.
Oh, he did, Freddie, for the first one? Okay, Freddie, thank you. Okay, so he went to jail for 10 years for the first girl. Gotcha, Freddie. Thank you, girl. Thank you, Freddie. Okay, so Freddie say he went to jail for 10 years. Okay, and what I just say, y'all, normally them pedos, they go to jail, right? And they come home, they're still got the same mindset. Okay, that never goes away. They would do it again. And that's why I don't understand when some women date men and they know this, because some men date women, you know, and the woman be like, well, you know, everybody need a second chance and some people can change. Girl, you got to be kidding me. Ain't no peto going to change. Okay? They're not. They're going to always have in their mind they love little underage people. I'm going to say people now because you know I got to say that now. I got to watch what I say. Yeah. Wow. 10 years. And look what happened. He came out and did the same thing. Thank you so much, Freddie. I appreciate that. Ooh, Jesus Christ.
That starts on the 2nd. And it's in Judge Cusick, so I anticipate it going on Friday.
Okay, understood. What if we come back on Friday, September 12th, mid-morning?
If we could come after my exam, that would be good for me.
The 12th is not a good day.
The 12th is not a good day.
I could do the 11th.
Strictly on the 11th?
I'm going to be in that 2-defendant homicide.
Hold on, Fred. I'll read your comment. 1 second. Give me 1 second.
I know that's cutting close. We're starting to cut close, but
I think we could do
How about Tuesday the 16th? Does that work for everyone's calendars?
Seems to work. Yep, that works.
Right. Okay. We'll come back Tuesday, September 16th to listen to argument on the other acts. Notice that people have filed Let's set that hearing at 10 a.m.
Okay. Oh, hold on, y'all. Oops, damn it.
These transforming glass.
Hold on, y'all. I messed up. I went to something I didn't supposed to. Okay. Hold on. Let me just get back to where I need to be. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Let me get back where I need to be. I got you, Fred. I'm going to read your comment 1 second. I clicked on another thing. Okay, let me read Freddie's comment right quick. Let's see. Freddie say, no, she's still fighting them now, Royal D. He went to jail for 10 years. Then he came out and got with Sean. Oh, okay. Got you. Ooh, that man was something else. And like Brittany said, Brittany is right. I agree with Brittany. He took the easy way out. I definitely agree with Brittany. He took the easy way out when he did that to himself. And I was reading some people comments like, like on Facebook and stuff. Some people saying, "Oh no, somebody that did that." Saying, "Come on now, ain't no that he was only there for a week. Ain't nobody do nothing to that man. That man took the easy way out. That's what he did. He couldn't handle the pressure. All those years, I think they gave him 33 to 66 years. Yeah. I don't know, was it with parole or without parole? But I do know that he got from 33 to 66 years. That's life. That's life. He couldn't handle that. That was too much for him to handle. So, of course, he was going to do that to himself. Ain't nobody did that for him. Like, no way. Damn, that's... That man was sick, nasty. All right, let me see. I think I had another one here. I don't know if I did. I still go back to the grandmother, y'all. Y'all might not want me to tell the truth, but I'm still going on back to the grandmama now, because there's no way that you're going to have your grandchild that you have legally custody of, even if you didn't have legally custody of your granddaughter, right? Your granddaughter is going to be, I don't think I did this one. Let me see this one here. Let's see. Let me bring this one up. Hold on.
Hey, viewers.
Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Can I bring this one up right here? She was so a jolly girl, though.
Nasiah.
I don't want to think the worst about it, about her being abducted. I'm hoping and praying that is not the case. I'm standing on my faith that God is going to bring my baby home.
Nasiah Harris was just 13 years old when she vanished without a trace from Detroit, Michigan on January the 9th, 2024. Now, Nasiah Harris had been staying with her grandmother and legal guardian, Annette Harris. It's reported that although it was out of character for Nasiah to not come home, that Annette Harris did not report Nasiah Harris missing that day. Annette went to sleep and decided that she would deal with it the next day. On January the 10th, 2024, Annette...
Oh, okay, Freddie. Yeah, that could be the reason why you can't find it. Okay, got you. But thanks for trying, baby. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that, love.
Went to Detroit Public Schools and reported Nasiah missing. Sadly, Nasiah nor her body has been found. Now, the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office has charged Jarvis Butts in connection to Nasiah Harris' disappearance. Jarvis Butts is not only facing charges related to Nasiah Harris, but he's also facing other charges as well. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office alleged that as early as 2022, Nasiah and Jarvis Butts started exchanging inappropriate text messages. Now, Jarvis shares 5 children
Exactly, Fred.
with
Yeah, I believe that.
Nazia's biological aunt. And of course, we know that Jarvis Butts and Shannon Harris' oldest daughter, Janiyah, and Nazia were extremely close. There's a lot of TikTok videos that they appear to have made. And remember that Janiyah and Nazia attended a birthday party back in 2022, and they allegedly both complained to Shannon Harris about Jarvis inappropriately touching them. So
now you hear that? And you hear that? And Shannon, you didn't know? You didn't know, Shannon? You didn't follow up on that? You didn't ask him? You stayed with him? Wow.
Despite Nazia and Janiyah complaining to Shannon Harris about Jarvis Butts inappropriately touching them, Shannon Harris continued to allow Janiyah, which was his biological daughter, is his biological daughter, and Nazia to go up to the auto shop to help clean the bathroom or the office.
That's what I just said. What was they doing up there? They can't fix cars. Was they cleaning? And then if they was cleaning the bathrooms or whatever it should be, why would it have to be every day? Why? Why didn't you go up there and check on them girls? And then when them girls told you he was doing that to them, why would you continue to let them girls go up there? Why didn't you stop there? Why didn't you call the police? Why didn't you make a police report? Why didn't you take them kids to the hospital? Why?
As Jarvis Butts said. If you followed this case, you know there's been speculation online about people questioning if Nazia Harris was pregnant. Of course, at the preliminary hearing, the doctor who testified to Nazia Harris' medical record up until October of 2023. So, but what was not said at the preliminary hearing was if there was proof that Nazia Harris was pregnant. We heard testimony that Nazia Harris had sent in a text message that she was in the hospital. However, Annette Harris, who was her grandmother, she testified. She didn't say why Nazia was in the hospital. Shannon Harris, who was her aunt and periodically lived in the same home, from what we learned in the preliminary hearing, she did not say why Nazia, nor was the question posed about why Nazia was in the hospital. So on record, it was not established if Nazia Harris was pregnant. And I'm going to play that as a refresher before I get into some other stuff. Now, take a look at this photo. This photo here is circulating online because there's an account on social media that at one point said that,
y'all, was this her? For real? What do y'all let me know? Yeah, he touched her. He touched his own daughter. I wouldn't be surprised if he was playing. Exactly, Virgo. Exactly. Like, Shannon, what was you as a mother? And then you sit up here and still collect calls from this man. And your daughter told you what he was doing, and your niece. And when he got arrested and on top of that, you know what he did to a child previous. And when he got arrested, you still had communications with him. And then you're telling him, you ask him, did you do anything to my niece? Where is my niece? You letting him manipulate you, gaslight you, like he didn't do anything to your niece. You should have put your thinking cap on right away, immediately, and knew that he did something to your niece. And that's why she's no longer here. But you continue to sit on the phone and talk to that man like was nothing going on. It's no way.
That they were Janiyah. Remember, Janiyah is her cousin, Shannon Harris' oldest daughter. Shannon and Jarvis' oldest daughter. The account said they were Janiyah. They post photos. They say, I miss you. Now, these photos do not appear to be exclusive photos, not all the time. However, within the last couple of days, this account has shifted to posting pregnancy photos and videos. So I'm showing this photo here. Now I'm going to show this video. So take a look at this video. Now, the account is saying that they found the photos and that it appears to be.
Yeah, she does look pregnant right here in this black shirt. Right here where I got my mouse at. She does. Where it say 1, she does.
Naziah. They're portraying this photo to be Naziah and saying that it's her. Now, I'm going to put a comparison video here, and I want you to take a look at this. Do you believe that this is Naziah? I am not presenting this to be Naziah Harris at all. This is from an account. Like I said, they say that it's Janiyah, who's Naziah's cousin, but that has not been confirmed. I also just want to clarify so that it's clear that although the judge recognized, that she was convinced by Naziah Harris sending Jarvis Butt's text messages and by Jarvis Butt's internet search history that Naziah was indeed pregnant, because at the end of her ruling,
I believe she was too, because why would he take her life if she wasn't? Why? I definitely do believe she was.
She questioned how the women of the house who had children of their own did not notice that Naziah was pregnant. But what the medical examiner who testified, he did not say that there was any indication in her medical record that she was pregnant. So maybe there is more to come from that. So there's speculation based on these videos that have circulated. What are your thoughts below? Do you believe that these videos that I just showed, that, the new one, right, that the account is posting, that this is indeed Naziah Harris and that she was pregnant? Are you convinced, like, I'm not for sure, I don't know if she's pregnant and I need to wait until the trial comes and maybe there's medical records? Now, I am going to play this clip from Mark D. He, of course, is the host of the 7 Mile Radio. But before I get into that clip, I want to go over this timeline. The significance here is that the defense, Jarvis Butt's defense, in his closing, before they get to closing and they do the cross-examination on Sergeant Shannon Jones, when they're doing their closing, they bring up an interesting point. And the point that they bring up is that Naziah Harris texts Jarvis on September the 26th of 2023, and she said, "I might not be pregnant. It might be from stressing." Okay, so we know that although Naziah had texted Jarvis on September the 26th and told Jarvis Butts that her monthly cycle hadn't come at all, she also, within that same text message exchange, told him that she might not be pregnant. So let's go over this timeline real quick. We have, at least we know, April the 14th, 2022, that is when CPS said that they submitted the law enforcement notification report to the Detroit Police Department. If you haven't checked it out, there's a video on my page. That report that they submitted there says that Naziah and Janiyah complained. Now, they, of course, redacted the report when they showed it, but Mark D from the 7 Mile Radio, someone sent him the report. And the report that they sent to him, it was not redacted. So it shows Janiyah's name. The report previously showed Naziah's name, but I want you guys to listen to that, okay? So and then after the April the 14th date, stay with me here, on September the 27th, 2022, Naziah texts Jarvis. Now, this is when the prosecutors are alleging that the inappropriate relationship started, at least by the text messages, right? If it started before this, and let me know you guys' comments below. Although the text messages demonstrate that the relationship started as early as 2022, do you guys believe that it started sooner than that? Because although the text messages go back to September the 27th, we know that Naziah and Janiyah complained to Shannon Harris back in April the 14th of 2022. So the text message obviously doesn't pick up on that, right? Because if it did, and there's so many phone numbers and text now apps that they could have been texting prior to that, and they just haven't recovered that, right? Because there is that question about Nazia's cell phone. So April the 14th, we know that the CPS support, we know that the Child Protective Services submitted the law enforcement notification to Detroit Public Police. We know Detroit Public Police, that they came forward and they said that they failed Nazia Harris. Moving forward, first communication that was established September the 27th, 2022. That's where Nazia texts Jarvis and she said they're about to sing happy birthday, and she's telling him hurry up and get there, right? Now, on that same date, September the 27th, 2022, Nazia says to Jarvis at 1:52 a.m., where are you? Where are we doing it at your choice? That's what Nazia says to Jarvis. And then Jarvis replies September the 27th that he said, you tell me. Okay, so now we're going to jump ahead to September the 26th of 2023. There were other text messages in between this time, but I'm only going to highlight the text message.
It sounds like, too, y'all, to be honest, like she had got comfortable with him. That's what it sounds like, too. It sounds like they could have been, this has been going on for quite some time, and it sounds like she's got comfortable with him by this text thread that she's reading here. It's so disturbing, y'all. Wow. Damn, that shit crazy as hell. Wow. And Virgo, I definitely agree with you 100%. I agree.
Messages that are relevant to the pregnancy, right? And then September the 26th, 2023, Nazia texts Jarvis and she says, you know, my monthly hasn't come. I might, and then she also says, I might not be pregnant. It might be from stress. And
y'all, let me just say this. She was 13 when this happened, right? So let's just say this. And she know this man was a grown man, right? When she first told Shannon that he was touching her and her cousin, I guess she proceeded to still mess with this man. So we got to face the fact and the music for what it is. She also knew what she was doing. She also knew that this was what she was doing was wrong. Okay? And if she really 13, your parents ain't do nothing. Most kids, you know, you can go to the police department yourself. You can call the police yourself. You get tired of things. You know, I goes back to where I covered a story a long time ago where these 8 children was living in with these foster people, and they was being, you know, and, you know, not eating and other things like that. Y'all pick up what I'm saying. So what happened, one of those kids was able to get out. They jumped out of a window and they went and called the police, and the police came back to their house and arrested the foster mother and the foster parent, if y'all can remember that story, because they was tired of the abuse. They was tired of what was happening to them in that house. But her situation was different. She still had freedom. So I don't understand, like, what happened. Why did she continue to let him do this to her? Because she was old enough to understand this was a grown man also. Not taking the fact away what he did to her was right, because no, it was not right. But I'm just saying she knew what she was doing was also wrong too. Of course, he manipulated her young. He manipulated her, yes, in her mind and made her believe he loved her. Right. Yes, that's true, Miss Dees. Yes, I remember that story. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, Jesus.
And I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I have to go to the doctors tomorrow. Okay. Now, the medical records that were submitted was submitted up into the point of October the 20th, 2023. So if Nazia Harris on September the 26th, 2023, if she went to the doctor they did not discuss what that doctor's visit or what that appointment was about, but the medical records that were introduced all the way up to October the 20th of 2023. Now, here's where things get interesting, because October the 21st, 2023, Naziah texts Jarvis and she said that she needed the plan B. Okay, so my question to everyone is that if Naziah Harris believed that she was pregnant and if she went to the doctor's appointment, why do you believe that she was asking Jarvis for a plan B on October the 21st of 2023? Keep in mind, on September the 26th, she said she might not be pregnant. And then she says she's scared. She doesn't know what to do. But then on October the 21st, after it's believed that she went to a doctor's appointment, she's telling Jarvis that she needs a plan B. Now, it could be maybe she went to the doctor's appointment, they confirmed that she was pregnant, and for whatever reason, Jarvis and Naziah believed if she took a plan B that it would get rid of the pregnancy. Who knows, right? This is speculation, but what are your thoughts on this? Then November the 2nd, 2023, this is Naziah got into a fight. Now, it's alleged to believe that this fight that Naziah got into on November the 2nd, 2023, that Shannon Harris allegedly took her to go fight. According to Roxy, who is Naziah Harris' extended family member, she was on the 7 Mile Radio, and Roxy said that Shannon took Naziah to go fight. Now, what's the significance here is because the police, during the interrogation, they questioned Jarvis about this fight, and you'll hear what he has to say, okay? And so then on November the 27th, Naziah texts Jarvis. She said, I don't know what your problem is, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this gym stuff. So that's what she says to Jarvis, right? And then, so obviously, if she asked for a plan B October the 21st of 2023, and then she still sent the text message on November the 27th, 2023, shortly after that, in December, right? Because you're going to hear that in December, Jarvis has started Googling, this how to do at-home abortions and other things, which we heard in the preliminary hearing. So even if Naziah texted Jarvis and said, September 26th, my period haven't come, and then she sent a message October 21st that she needed the plan B, and then after the needing the plan B, that November the 27th, she said she couldn't do the gym stuff with the baby. So if we believe that she is pregnant and she's saying that her period hasn't come since she got out the hospital, how far along do you believe that Naziah was? Now I'm going to go ahead and play this interrogation video. And after that, I'm going to play the clip from Mark D. And he's speaking about the fight and the CPS allegation.
She stayed stronger than 2 days before the one. Did she look fat? She didn't look bigger, like she might see somebody and then you don't see them for a month. You're gonna notice. Did she look confused? You never heard about her being pregnant or anything like that? She says something. And then I was like, what? See, like, I'm gonna see what she was doing. Was I she wanted to get pregnant? Was she was pregnant? So I was like, girl, I've been so ass about that.
Minutes and 47 seconds.
Okay. Did she ever confide in you about like having any troubles with with girls and boys?
I don't know about the situation she had with some girls. Like supposed to get jumped on something like that. I'm not sure, but they knew about that situation. They knew about all that. I'm sitting up here, man. I can't give you consent to everything that I got.
So why would she tell you to do? Why would she have to delete your number?
She wasn't talking about my number. She was talking about the number that she called me from. Like I said, they call from different numbers. The auntie, this text now shit.
So right.
And why was she talking? Why would she talk about her pregnancy to you? To you, if you wasn't involved, why wouldn't she talk about it to whoever she allegedly could have been pregnant by. Why would she talk about it to you? And the things that she was saying is suspect. I mean, a woman gonna only talk like that to a man that she's pregnant by. This is my opinion about it.
Right. So
Let's just go ahead and start with the meat, right? So I have government documents. I have documents from someone who works for the government that sent me that shows proof of a report, an assault and battery report. Okay. The perpetrator is another 13-year-old girl. The victim is Naziah Harris. The report was filed on 1/11/24. Let me pull this up here. Now, I had to blur out some information because the person named in these documents is a minor. And once again, these are official government documents sent to me. Okay. Now, what you're looking at right now is the documents that show Naziah Harris as the victim. Let me zoom in on that for you. Naziah Harris is the victim. Okay.
Okay, so let's give a little context. I think there are people coming in that may be a little confused that
we gonna get to it on because they said that we thought we were missing on it. Exactly, right?
Okay.
So here you see it says open and active. Okay, it was filed on 1/11/24. Now this other kid's basically record, and you see that the assault and battery was filed, the incident happened on 11/02. No, 11/2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wait.
It happened 11/2.
Oh, okay. Where does that at? You said it happened when?
He's saying it happened November 2nd of 2023.
Okay.
But again, like I said, it was filed on the 24th, 2 days after she came up missing.
It was filed on the 11th.
Oh, no, 11th.
Well, that's 2 days, ain't it?
You said the 24th.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the date.
Oh, yep.
The
January
11th. 2 days after. Now, this juvenile is still in police custody, and they can't go forward with the case because Naziah is missing. Now, why was the case filed 2 days after she came up missing?
Right. That's the question.
About an assault and battery where she was the victim. Right?
Yep. That's the $1 million question. How do you file that now if it happened in 2023? The week before.
Are you trying to cover up something?
Right. The week before.
Maybe it's a typo.
I don't think it's a typo. That's a government that came from.
Well, who filed it?
Who filed it? Well, seeing that it was the day after. Now, I heard when the argument in part one was that why anybody in the house didn't file or whatever. They said that the grandmother filed it on the 10th.
Mm-hmm. The next day.
The next day.
Yeah.
And then went on the 11th. Like, who did this on the 11th?
Exactly.
Right.
And why wasn't it filed when the incident happened? When the incident happened.
Now, to add another layer to this onion, it is a layer. Now, I didn't get a chance to put this screenshot, the video that Roxy sent me in the video in the system today. But it's alleged, and we have a text message conversation from not text message, but an inbox conversation saying that Shannon is the person that took her to this fight.
Yes.
So Shannon, Roxy, am I telling the truth?
He is very much so telling the truth. We was in the live. Somebody.
Yeah, why would you take that girl to a fight? Like, why? That's crazy. Why would you take your niece to a fight?
Already brought to my attention that someone who went to school with Naziah knew her. So I inboxed her to get a little bit of information from her, and she pretty much told me in so many words that Shannon, she got into a fight with some girl. I don't know if it's this 13-year-old that's alleged to have had whatever involvement with Naziah on the assault case. However, she did state that Shannon took Naziah to go fight some girl. I guess we're alleging that it's this girl that's in custody, but she took her to go fight the girl. She doesn't know anything else past that. I tried to message her back to ask her more information about the fight, and all of a sudden, magically, I can't send her any more messages. So I find that quite peculiar. So, Aaron Booker, if you ain't here, I would love to hear the rest of your story.
Danielle Ross said too, I remember the fight. My kids told me about it.
Oh, Shannon's watching now.
Oh, hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
They funny.
Shannon, why don't you call? You have a moment.
Let us know about.
You know what? I got a question for Shannon as well. I got a question for her as well, because in regards to her integrity as far as what she says. Right, I asked you a question in part 1 in regards to Jarvis being married or someone giving him a ring, because I heard a story about somewhere around last year, Shannon supposedly giving Jarvis tax money so he can flip whatever how dudes do, flip it and bring some money back to the house. And he allegedly bought a girl a wedding ring.
Oh
and got her
yeah,
pregnant.
I heard about that. Y'all, if you can remember, I think I played that yesterday. Remember the girl said the ring faded on that phone call yesterday that I played, and the necklace that he bought her faded. And I said, "Here's shit. You better take that shit to the jewelry and get it praised and see if it was really real." Whoever was in my chat yesterday, that's what he's talking about.
And she told me she didn't know nothing about no ring or nothing about him being like no pregnant. But I'm wondering who this post was for from Shannon, who said, "Keep my name out your mouth. You accepted that engagement ring. Accept all the bullshit and baggage that comes with him, Miss Butts."
Mrs. Butts.
Mrs. Butts.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who that was for?
Well, Shannon, waiting on you. Call.
Where you at, Shannon?
Waiting on you.
Is the phone line open?
Not yet.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
We dissecting this. We dissecting this report that was filed on the 11th that took place in November of 2023. Naziah went missing on January 9th.
I mean, was there another fight that she took her to right before it that we don't know about? What was that?
Well, Aaron did say that the fight happened in October of last year. So, but then Naziah went missing in January. So, I mean, that's not too far off. So,
right.
So the girl, right, that Naziah had to fight with, I guess her brother was recently killed for, I don't know what the situation was about that. Now that song that I was playing in the beginning is actually the girl that Naziah fought. And it's kind of like a get back song for her brother. Now I don't know if this goes back and ties into the whole situation about, the gang activity that her brother supposedly was in, and he called in and debunked and said he wasn't a part of no gang. Right. I don't know if that got connections to that. But then it was a call made, right? It was a call made to a family member stating, and I never put this out. I've known about this for a minute, but it's peculiar to me because I think this is what actually got motion this morning. It was a phone call made to one of the family members who I originally talked to saying that, oh, well, Naziah is in the house and being held for ransom, basically, by the guys who her mother owed money to.
Wow.
But that person couldn't tell them the location or where they got that information from. So we don't know if that was told to the people who are the family members I talked to, just to deter them away from
from the situation
maybe what
hand.
they did, right, to make it look like they didn't have anything to do with her being missing.
Mm-hmm.
When Shannon already said she was the last one that seen her go to school, we heard that Shannon took her to this fight that she allegedly went to.
So about the ransom.
And it's another thing about Shannon. There's some CPS situations that I just so happen to
We'll come back to the ransom.
be able to pull up.
And it sounds like you're a bad
So this
mother.
situation right here looks like, what does it say? Shannon, the mother of all of her kids, right, named all of the kids, there was an incident at a birthday party where one of the children attended the birthday party, attended Jarvis of sexual abuse. I'm going to try to keep this up on the screen while I'm reading. Naziah and Janiyah reported that Jarvis touched them. So this is his own daughter. Shannon's daughter that they had together. So this man has been touching his reports of this man touching his own daughter.
Right, her oldest daughter.
Right. So my thing is, why do you care and upset that he's not getting married to you? Why would you want to even marry a man like that? And you knew that your daughter told you he was touching her and your niece, and you knew about the first incident with another little girl. You shouldn't have gave a damn who the hell he married. You should have had him completely out your goddamn life soon as your daughter told you what he did to her or tried to do to her and your niece. Why was you so concerned about a peto getting married to a peto? What? What the hell? Girl, your whole family is sick, low self-esteem. Period.
Shannon's oldest daughter.
And you want us to believe anything that you have to say in regards to anything?
Right.
Knowing what kind of man this is. You know what kind of man this is. And we supposed to believe you about anything that you say.
She sure is, auntie. Yeah, she is.
Should we go to another one? That was the one of the four.
And normally, y'all, when you see things like this happen sometimes, this has been going on for quite some time. And maybe before Jarvis came into this family, maybe it was always some issues too in Sharon and them family with pedo. So maybe they was immune to this and they didn't stop it because the family was already used to it. Maybe they have been touched before, you know, as coming up as kids. Maybe their mother has been touched before coming up as kids, you know, and it just went all through the family. So when he did it, they felt like it was okay. They was going to keep it a secret. And I say that to say, because I believe they knew. Okay. That's why I say that. This ain't just happened because this man came into this family life. I believe this has been going on in this family for quite some time. And that's why they felt like it was normal and okay because of what he was doing. And they didn't care because they knew. I would never say they didn't know because they knew. Okay? It could have started off with the mother because that's where it starts off at. Sometimes with the mother or the father or the grandmother, grandfather, you know, whoever raised you. You know, it starts off there.
This is another one. Jarvis is in on the SOR, and Angel leaves him alone with the children. He is not supposed to have any contact with the children, but it's unknown if he molested them yet.
Wow, yeah.
Angel is the offender. So this is somebody else's Angel's CPS investigator. He's also named in that one.
So do anybody in the chat knows why that the grandmother had custody of those kids from the beginning and the real mother lost custody? Do anybody know that?
Let me see what this one is. About 2-3 months ago, it was discovered that Jarvis was in jail because of having sex with a minor who was there. Lucretia, looks like, has been making sure not to leave his daughters alone with Jarvis. One time picking up Lucretia, what did it say?
Is this the biological mother of the children, the lady name he just read?
Lucretia is into drugs. Lucretia uses narcos for pain, all this other shit. So
she said, I remember the grandmother saying it happened to her and her daughters. You're right. It was a history. Oh, there you go. I knew it. That just didn't happen because this Jarvis came into this family. No, this been going on through quite some time in that family. And the mother thought it was okay. She did not stop it. Okay? She did not stop it. All right? She let it continue to go on and on. She did not break the cycle. Okay? I knew it. Thanks for confirming that, Auntie, because I knew it. The grandmother had custody because the mother was on drugs, I believe. Got you.
So he got kids. He around kids that he know he's not supposed to be around. He molests his own daughter, and the mama know it. Still with him.
Facts.
And now I'm getting threats from Jarvis' family and shit. He said it ain't threats. He said he wasn't threatening. Remember, I told y'all about this. I told y'all was gonna be mad about this one. Tell him he coming to Detroit soon. The fuck is that supposed to be?
Why do we
because
want to protect them?
Because I need to get my facts straight. I'm talking about shit that people told me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's already public record.
Wow, they threaten him. He's a good content creator too. He put out good content, yeah. Because sometimes I do come across his channel. He put out good content.
Here's the conversation. You say, cuz we need to talk. I said, about what? I'm trying to get to the, trying to bounce back and forth. I'm like, who is this? He gonna say, you speaking on somebody when you don't have all the facts. You dug up a whole bunch of stuff from my folks' past. Stop speaking on people you don't know. You don't know who out here can get close to you. You speaking on my family and he down for a gun charge, nothing more. Stop that. Stop spreading lies before it's too late.
Wow.
That was 2.
That's a threat.
2 threats.
Oh, that's what I said. Are you threatening me? I don't think I got to that part. Did I show that one? I said that. Excuse me on the crops, y'all. I was trying to get everything the best way I can.
You good?
So yeah, I'm like, hey, are you threatening me? Are you threatening me? I'm trying to line all of this shit up. Hold on. That's one.
If you've made it to this part with me, I appreciate you. I know this is longer than what I typically do, but I thought it was important to establish this timeline.
Very important.
Now, what is the significance here? That's what you're probably wondering. The significance here is that Jarvis Butt's defense is trying to establish reasonable doubt that will debunk the claim from the prosecutors that Jarvis had this motive to unalive Naziah Harris because she was pregnant. Because as the defense, you're going to hear them say, Naziah texts Jarvis that she may not be pregnant. So they're trying to create reasonable doubt. If you watched my last video, it talked about the alleged question about the trafficking, right? Now Jarvis Butt's defense is saying, well, Naziah told Jarvis, even if the defense believes that Jarvis unalived her because Naziah was allegedly pregnant, Naziah texted him in September and said the same text message string. She said she might not even be pregnant. And then you will hear the defense as they cross the doctor. Listen to the questions that they pose to the doctor. Okay.
Okay. Let's go back to September 26th.
Of which year?
Of 2023.
September 26th?
Right.
Starting at what time?
Okay. Line 1293.
I don't have numbers like that on my page. Can you just tell me a time to the second?
Is that 1433?
The 1433 even?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and that text message, that's the one where she texted about her period not coming, right?
Yes.
And she texted that she was going to the doctor the next day, correct?
Correct.
And a little bit farther down, at 1457, does she also text him that I might not be pregnant? It might be from stress.
Yes, Freddie. That's what my auntie just said too. It happened to
Now,
her
can
real
we
mother
look
too.
at November 27th? You have that? Let me find it.
From November 27th?
November 27th of 2023.
Okay. What time?
It is 22:28.
Okay.
This is where she texts Mr. Butts that she is doing the gym with the baby's car, correct?
Yes.
Now, the very next day, November 28th, you have that?
Yes.
At 21:48:43, thank you.
Which one?
She texts Jarvis Butts, it healed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Butts doesn't respond to any of these messages, does he?
He doesn't respond until the next couple of days, the next day.
Oh. Then in December, a couple of weeks later, Mr. Butts does some Google searches. So this is the Google search, correct?
December 10th.
December 9th through 11th?
10th, yes.
So he does searches for abortion, Planned Parenthood sites, correct?
Wow.
Yes.
He does searches for over-the-counter abortion pill, correct?
Wow.
Yeah.
And we all agree that Mr. Butts has many girlfriends. right?
Correct.
There may be some that we don't know about.
And you ain't lied about that. He had a lot of them.
Possibly.
Okay.
You are not Ms. Harris's treating physician.
No.
So you don't have any knowledge, no personal knowledge of Ms. Harris.
No.
Or any medical issues that she may or may not have had.
No.
Your role in this case was only to review medical records that were supplied to you.
Correct.
Your actual job is to perform autopsies, correct?
Correct.
Also, and an autopsy is examining a person who is deceased, right?
Yes.
And determining a manner or cause of death.
Yes.
You can also interpret toxicology.
Correct.
And lab results.
Yes.
That kind of thing. Is it your job to declare somebody as deceased? Typically?
Typically, I am the pronouncing doctor when we respond to a death on a scene.
Okay, so if you were to go and view something yourself
Yes,
and have personal knowledge of the circumstances surrounding the incident.
correct.
Okay. So if you don't have a body, you can't really opine as to whether a person is in fact deceased, fair to say?
Correct.
Okay. No, you testified that you wrote a letter to the prosecutor in this case.
Yes.
And in that letter, well, what did you review in preparation of writing that letter?
I do medical records that were provided by the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office.
And those are just the medical records that that you have been referring to?
Yes.
And is that all that you have reviewed?
Yes.
Do you have any other personal knowledge of the circumstances of this case?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay, go ahead.
We're moving forward to September 26th.
September 26th, starting at 14:31 hours, Messiah sends, "Bae, you up?" Some question marks. Then she sends another set of question marks. 14:32, he replies, "Yeah." 14:33, Messiah sends, "My period haven't came at all." 14:36, she sends, "Hello, you there?" with some question marks. 14:37, Jarvis replies to Messiah, "What you mean?" At 14:38, Messiah says, "It have not came." 14:38, Jarvis replies to her, "Since when?" Messiah then sends at 14:38, 42 seconds, "Since I was in the hospital." The next message is, "That was last month. I'm scared. I don't know, IDK, what to do. I have to go to the doctor's TM or tomorrow." At 14:41, Jarvis replies to Messiah and says, "You said that you took a pregnancy test and it was negative." 14:41, she replies, "It did." At 14:41, Jarvis then replies, "So go get another one."
Wow.
At 14:42, Messiah tells him on a text, "I can't, I have no money." After that, she says, "You go get one." At 14:43, she says, "You ain't scared to get a plan B, get a pregnancy test and bring it later today. Just act like you have to use the bathroom." At
Wow.
14:36, she says, "PLS for please." She then replies, "Will you do it?" with some question marks. At 14:51, she says, "Hello," with a bunch of question marks. Then at 14:56, Jarvis replies to her with, "Okay."
Okay, and now the messages from 9:26 at 14:31 and 41 seconds, all the way to 14:39 and 42 seconds, were those deleted?
Well, so they're deleted from the 14:31, 41 seconds, all the way down to 14:39.
Oh, so he
and 13
deleted some.
seconds. Those are not deleted.
Okay.
Then there's two that are deleted, which are the two messages that talked about, "I'm scared, I don't know what I have to do. I have to go to the doctor's tomorrow." And then the other one that she deleted was when it says, "You said that you took a pregnancy test and it was negative."
Okay.
There's one that she did not delete that was, "It did." Then the rest of them after that, where it talks about get another test, come upstairs, and put it in the bathroom, those messages were deleted.
Okay. And moving to September 27th.
September 20.
It sounds like the message was deleted, but they got them back. That's what it sounds like. Sound like they probably got a order from the phone company and the messages came back. That's what it sounds like to me.
27th, starting at 21:26 hours, Messiah sends,
Hey, Miss
but are
Walker.
we still on for Friday? At 21:31, Jarvis replies, what you mean? 21:38, she says, are we still on for Friday? At 21:49, Jarvis replies, yes. 21:49, Isaiah says the letter K. At 21:49, Jarvis then sends a text to her asking, what we doing though? At 21:49, she sends back, fucking.
Wow.
At 21:50, Jarvis replies, seriously? 21:50, Naziah replies, yeah.
And see, that's what I'm telling y'all. She was old enough to understand what was going on too, y'all. She was, even though he was an adult, and we know he was wrong for what he did, but we know he did it because we know he was a petter. We know that. Now, do we know that she know who he was, what his background like? No, this girl probably did not know. But we do know that she was old enough to understand what she was doing with a grown man, with someone like a family member, which was her auntie, kid's father. She knew she was wrong also. Listen at these text messages that she was writing back to him like she was a grown woman. And he didn't, oh, Jesus.
What else we gonna do? 21:50, Jarvis replies back to her, where? Naziah then replies back immediately and says, IDK, or I don't know, you pick somewhere. Then at 21:51, Jarvis sends to her, I always do. 21:51, Naziah sends, I know. At 21:52, she says, I really just want to cuddle, but if you want to fuck, we can.
Woo, Jesus.
21:52, 20 seconds, she sends, so do you, with some question marks. 21:52 and 35 seconds, Jarvis sends to her, do I weigh? Then right after that is a word that was corrected, like what? So should have said, do I what? Then Naziah sends at 21:52, wanna fuck.
Woo, Jesus.
At 21:53, she sends, I just want to cuddle, but it ain't always what I want to do. At 21:53, she says, so yes or no? At 21:54, Jarvis replies, only if you want to. 21:54, she says, okay, so we fucking then.
Woo, Jesus.
21:55, Jarvis replies, so stop talking about you want to cuddle then. 21:55, Naziah replies, okay, damn, you don't have to be mean. At 21:55, Jarvis replies, and it shows that he laughed at her comment about you don't have to be mean.
Okay. And were all of those messages deleted?
No.
Okay. Where does it start that it was deleted?
They do not start getting deleted until.
Ooh, child, that's just blew my mind. God
that
dang.
Jarvis sends to her, only if you want to. So we fucking then. Stop talking about you want to cuddle. Those are the messages that were.
Yes, Brittany, the language. Oh my God. You can tell she picked up some bad habits within that family or on the streets. Oh, she was not being raised right. Oh my God. My granddaughter is 13 years old now, and oh Lord. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's all I can do, y'all. Hearing this is call out on the Lord. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. I never heard this part, y'all. Cause see, I didn't cover the whole case. I covered some of it in the beginning. Brittany remember because she was with me for a long time. And then I moved on. I never covered the rest. But this one here, oh my God, I wouldn't expect to hear all of this. My skin is curly listening to that. Yes, girl. Jesus. This was some foul language for a 13-year-old girl to say out her mouth. I wish she could have really been with somebody that really loved her and taught her the way of life and how to respect herself. And oh God. Let's finish, y'all, because it's almost at the end. I'll be getting off. Whew. This was a lot.
Okay. And now we are moving forward to October 19th.
October 19th, 2023 at 22:23 hours, Jarvis sends Naziah a text that says, "Hey." She replies back, "Are you ignoring me?" Jarvis replies, "No." It now jumps to October 21st at 19:05 hours. Naziah sends, "Hey, babe, I need that plan B today." At 19:07 hours, Jarvis sends her the letter Y. The next message isn't sent until October 22nd at 04:33 hours when Naziah replies back to him, WYMY, so for meaning what you mean, why?
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now jumping to November 27th.
Okay, so now we're getting into the -5 hours for the
Okay.
November 27th, 2023 at 21:06 hours, Naziah sends, "I just want to talk. I really don't want to lose you." At 21:09, she says, "Can we talk later, yes or no?" At 22:28, she says, "I don't want your problem, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this gym shit with this baby. And if I don't do them, I'm going to get a F."
Yeah, Miss Walker, I know.
22:28, she says, "If you keep ignoring me, you just gonna get no more pussy."
Oh,
22:35, she says,
what? Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Oh my God, y'all. Let me finish up this because I got to go. I can't take no more.
"Answer the phone, you not doing nothing." 22:36, she sends PLSSSS for please.
And were those deleted?
Yes.
And now.
If you watched my last video, then you know I included a clip from Naziah Harris' father when he called into the 7 Mile Radio. Now, he heard, after he called into the 7 Mile Radio show, he heard some of the callers call in and some of the things that he was saying, that they were saying about him, he didn't like. So he decided to call back in. So if you watch the clip in my last video, that was the first part. And now this is the second part. Now things do get heated between him and Roxy. And as you all recall, Roxy is Naziah Harris' extended family on her mom's side of the family. Roxy was staying in Texas, and she said after she heard about Naziah Harris, disappearance, then she decided to move back to Detroit.
What part of people ain't listen? I was over there. I was going over there. I went over there.
How much were you over there?
I was over there. I went and seen my baby.
To go drop off money over there, to go drop off
more money, clothes, whatever, bikes, whatever it was. I was helping a net needed. Like I would go over there, something wrong on the house. I might fix this while I was over there. She had so many houses she was at.
Okay, so
She
what
might have needed
quality
some money.
time did you actually spend with you and your daughter one-on-one? What was that time like?
Roxy, get off the phone, man. I'm not even talking to you. You know what? Because you irritate me. I don't even know you.
Okay.
You asking me questions.
Well,
Okay. Thought that was a valid question.
No, I'm just tired of trying to pull my teeth, and I already told y'all. The lady was even squatting in some homes. I went over there and helped fix up.
Girl, I'm speechless too.
Talk to
Girl,
her other family members, the ones that we know that was there, the ones that did the interviews.
I'm not trying to, if it seems like I'm trying to put you
The
on
ones that did the interviews, there's other people that know. There's other people that know me that I've been over there. I helped them move. I've always helped that family out.
So
always.
I guess back to one of the questions that I asked you, original call, so when you was over there, how much did you know about what was going on over there as far as, I guess I want to say the abuse or?
It was never done like that. She was a God-fearing woman. She didn't have the adoption of all the kids. She didn't have that. It was just my daughter.
Never seen a chain on the refrigerator or nothing? Like you ain't never been in the house?
It was nothing like that. No chains on the refrigerator, none of that. It was all this stuff is just new to me when I got out the hospital this time. None of that revealed. None of that.
Before Naziah came up missing, when was the last time that you saw her?
When I got my operation back, I had my operation years ago. All right. I couldn't walk after the operation. I had to go to rehab. There was no communication. When I got out of rehab, it was no phone, no nothing. When I got out of rehab, I went back on, I believe they stayed on Corville. I went on Corville, it was nobody there. Nobody know where they moved to. People don't, that's one thing about these phones that make you lazy to where you don't write nothing down. You see, I didn't have any other numbers. I couldn't get in contact with anybody. So I think like 4 or 5 years might have passed until now.
Okay. So it was some time since your hospitalization since the last time you saw her. So maybe probably 6 months, 8 months.
Since I seen her?
Yes.
No. It was about 4 or 5 years since I've seen her.
Okay, I'm sorry. My apologies. 4 or 5 years. Okay. And you didn't know at all where she lived at, or you didn't have a contact for Miss Annette during that time?
No, I didn't. No.
Wow.
Oh, that still was so damn fun.
And let me say this. If they wasn't going to tell the dad what was going on, because them they knew. They knew. Maybe the dad didn't know what was going on, what his daughter was doing with that grown man, what this grown man was doing to his daughter. The family wasn't going to tell him. And maybe he didn't see no refrigerator locked up. Maybe she didn't want him to see different things that was going on in that house. Because sometimes people would blindside you. You know, when they know you coming over and stuff like that, they'll make things look good and stuff like that. And she probably was doing that to this man. And this man probably didn't know none of this abuse and all this pedo stuff was going on. The man probably didn't know. He said he was sick in the hospital, in and out of the hospital. This man probably didn't know what was going on. So many people failed her. Yeah, so many people did fail her. They did, absolutely.
Funny.
Somebody there. And maybe they moved away so he wouldn't find out what was actually going on. That could be a possibility until I can hear something that's different. I'm with the father right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go back and watch some more stuff, maybe tonight, and drop a video on it tomorrow. I don't know what I can find. I'll see.
Well, I'm gonna say I apologize if this has rubbed you the wrong way, and that's
No,
the
you
thing.
ain't. You know what?
This is
You
the
ain't got to
thing.
even apologize.
This is the thing about the opinions of the public, and we cannot control them. And I do believe that everybody has a right to feel how they feel. This is a very emotional driven situation, an emotional case. And like I said before, I do believe in forgiveness. I'm a God fearing person, and if God can forgive, then we should be able to forgive. And I understand that you had this, I'm sure, conversation with God. But this is just now getting out.
Right, but you keep on saying forgive. I don't care if anybody forgives me. I just want to tell a story. I could go on with my life because I know what's going on. I don't have to sit on no damn panel.
Right, and
I ain't got to keep on doing all that. I ain't got to go back and forth.
Right, but I think you.
I ain't worried about nobody at all. If anybody knows me, they know I ain't worried.
Then I have to ask you, sir.
I just want to find my baby.
Right,
That's
but
it.
if you're not worried, then why did you call in? Why
I just told you why. Because these people don't know. Because people don't know. She running her bubblegum mouth. She don't know.
Do you care?
And see, this is what I'm talking about.
I'm asking.
You bringing up questions like this is Ricky Lake or something.
It's not. But I'm
telling
asking
you exactly what it is.
But I'm asking you. Do you care, sir? What other people think? Do you really care? That's all I'm trying to tell you. Why does it matter?
I said about your forgiveness. I said about your forgiveness.
But it's not for me.
You keep on telling me you can forgive. You're not God. I don't care if you can forgive or not.
Okay, but what I'm telling you,
I don't care.
This is what
but you wasting time telling me about what you.
Oh, her dad did finally pass away from heart failure. Oh, because he said he was in and out of hospital from being sick. So that could explains why the man was sick. A lot of things that he didn't know. But he did state when he went over there, the things that they was asking him, he didn't see, like the refrigerator locked up. He said he didn't see those things. You know? Wow. I didn't know he passed away. May he rest in peace. Lord have mercy.
You can forgive. I don't care about you forgiving.
Okay, no. I just want to say.
I just want to find my daughter.
And I understand, but I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is not just to you, but for the. Did he hang up? Yes. Oh, okay. Well, there you have it.
Right.
There you have it.
Someone said that we're misinterpreting his words.
I think y'all was.
Someone in the comments said that we're misinterpreting his words.
I think they was a little bit too. I think he was trying to say that he don't care about what nobody feel about him. He knows what he was trying to do for us being in his daughter's life. He just wants to find his daughter. So I think a little bit they was misinterpreting him a little bit. You know, he was trying to explain that he was sick. He had surgery twice. You know, and he was just explaining what he knew. He didn't know anything about the abuse. He didn't know anything about the pedo stuff. He didn't know anything about that, you know? So I think, because sometimes, you know, people can misinterpret you, you know, and I'm glad the comments did say that, because I think those two women was misinterpreting him, and I think he got upset and he hung up. So it could be that. But, oh, Lord, them phone calls just took me out, y'all. I don't know. I mean, I think it just made my skin curl because of her Texas. The things that she was saying as a 13-year-old to a 40-something-year-old man. That just made me cringe. It did. It made, oof. Wow. You know, so that's why I say too, y'all, she was also wrong too. She also knew what she was doing was wrong also. She knew what she was doing was totally disrespectful, wrong. She knew he was wrong. Once she told her auntie what he was doing, she shouldn't have never proceeded to continue with this. But it don't take the fact away from what he did to her. Okay? Do I believe she was pregnant? Yeah, I definitely do believe it. By them texts now, yeah, I definitely do believe that she definitely was. And he didn't want that. He went to the school trying to get her, but they told him her dad already picked her up. Okay, I remember someone saying that. I remember that. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Ooh, them texts took me out of here. I don't know about y'all, but baby. All right, y'all. I'm going to get up out of here. If y'all would like to donate to my channel today, the link is down the bottom. You are more than welcome to donate. And I'm gonna find she was 11 and 12 when it started. Oh Lord Jesus. That was going on for quite some time, Queen. Quite some time. Wow. And the sad thing about it, like, her body have never been recovered. That's the sad part about it. You know, and she couldn't even get a proper burial. But again, the grandmother, I have to blame her and the rest of them too. They was just no good adults all around her. None of them could teach her anything because none of them was not right their self. Just to be honest. Ooh, child, if ain't nothing else take me out, honey, them texts just took me for a loop. I say, good Lord. But I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow. I'm going to see can I find the other video with the dad. I'm going to see can I find that on her page. I'm going to have to wait till I lay down, child, tonight and relax and find that. Because, child, I be going through so much trying to find these videos. I be tired, shit. I be tired. So, I will definitely look for it tomorrow, y'all. If I find it, I will drop it for you guys tomorrow. Just make sure you got your notifications on. I'll probably drop this tomorrow around about 1 o'clock. Yeah, around about 1 o'clock. So if I find it, I'll drop it around about 1 o'clock. I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. I want y'all to have a blessed weekend. I want y'all to be safe. I want y'all to stay prayed up. And I want y'all to always remember to keep God first. I love you guys. And I will see you guys on the next live. Peace and love.